Hello out there, Facebook. I tell you, these last few days have gone by really, really fast. I can't believe I have not made it back to do a live on Facebook. I've done a couple of lives on Instagram. I've done a couple of lives on YouTube. So hopefully you've seen some of those as well. If not, hop over to those other social media platforms and look at those videos. But what I wanted to do today, getting back to understanding parts of modern quilting. I figure that the minimalist exhibit would be a really good place to share with you. So you can just see it's how abstract sometimes the modern quilts are, the use of negative space, and just some of the creativity that we see sometimes. So without further ado, I'm going to go up and down the aisles just so that you can see how they played with shapes, colors, textures, as well as the quilting motif. And I tell you, when you look at some of these quilts, even if it's something that you may not want to do yourself per se, I hope that they inspire you to play. So say for instance, what has been done here in the Relax quilt is a play on color as well as curve piecing, right? And just look how the curves flow one into the other, and the simple overall quilting design. The quilting motif has circular in nature as well, so it's playing to the curved piecing, right? So those are complementing. But look at the stripes. Look at how the stripes are being used in each of the sections of curves. Don't you just love that? So as I come up closer, let's just take a look at the dark area right here. Look how many colors have been used to form that curved segment right there. I love the play on color. I love the play on the curvature and just how flowy the curves are. A lot of us quilters, unlike our garment sewing friends, a lot are scared to do curves. And it takes a moment for us to get our heads wrapped around it. But I tell you, I did a quilt retreat with curves about a year ago or so in Houston, and we knocked them out. But certainly what we learned is some of those big curves are the best places to start. Here is another good one as well. It says Big Black Cloud. Now, there's a whole lot in that meaning of that title that Laura has given this beautiful quilt, but I'd have to read what her interpretation, what she was trying to interpret in her quilt versus what I take away from it. Obviously, people create things for us to enjoy and to walk away with some interesting meanings for ourselves, but I'm curious as to what she did. But what you can definitely see is look at the play on curves again. She has some very abstract shaped curves. Nothing is too, I'd say, symmetrical and uniform. Everything is just playful. And I just see the middle of that storm that's in the middle of the cloud. I hope you do see it as well. And then you go out into the pastel colors on the outer rims of the cloud. I hope you also notice that she's done a mix between the tying, so the tying method, so the very vintage style of finishing a quilt instead of using stitches per se, but then she's blended in stitches. And I love the fact that she's changed the colors of the thread that she's used, and I'm sure there's some reasons for that in particular. All right, let's see what else we have down here. So again, some more play on curves, piecing, some I love this penny one. I just love the vibrance of the colors, and I love the pop of the black and white. And this is also a really good one because I love purple, so I had to stop and take a look at this one. It's called the Zigzag Journey, the Quilted Life. I love the fact that you have the overall curves in here in that lime green, beautiful stipple stitch within it. And then you have the triangles that are not only pieced in the purple, but then accentuated with the quilting in the gray in the negative space. So I just love how the quilting in the negative space complements the quilting in the blocks, which I would consider the purple triangles to be the actual blocks. And also there's a little bit of blind stitching even around the circles. So you have to kind of come up close to see those right there. And I love it. So some traditional stippling. We love that's one of the quilt motifs that we all learned first, or many of us have learned first, and then going into the geometric. Absolutely loving it. Desperados, I love that. I think that this is the three Desperados. I think I see the three Desperados in this quilt, the orange, the green, and the blue one. And I love the interpretation of the Desperados. And that's just fun. Garden party as well. I think this almost reminds me of a fruit bowl. Kathy, I'd have to look at to see what she actually has. I think I see the cups and everything. Just having fun at a garden party. This is scattered thoughts. I see. I see like a living room setting of some sort. I see maybe that might be the TV sitting on the table, and then the scattered thoughts coming out of the TV. Maybe I have to play with that. You know what? I'm going to come in and just say right here, and I'm going to save that so that I can read that a little bit later. Scattered Thoughts by Deborah. I love it because it's making me think. Oh, look at that curved piecing. So this is a little bit more like the curved piecing that I'd say we did in our quilt retreat, in that they are very symmetric circles, very decent sized circles. Certainly, they've done a nice twist on each individual circle, and I love the play of running the strip down the middle, or coming in and out. And I love the color palette in this one as well. So it's called Balancing Act, and I think I see and understand completely why that's the title of that quilt. Always love a quilt that has a wonderful use of half square triangles and quarter square triangles, swimming the sailish sea. I love that. And that has a very um, abstract feel to it. Orca, the Ocean Defender. Okay, I like the color in there too. Ooh, back off. Somehow, the title of this one doesn't match the quilt for me, because I see just a beautiful piece of art here because of all of the curves and whatnot. But it said the title is Back Off, so I'm gonna have to read that to figure out who has to back off. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I think it says you are here. I don't know where here is in this quilt, but I tell you, you are here. And that's all that matters. You're here amongst it all. And I just love it. I could see that hanging on a wall, certainly in a very modern house, or I tell you, maybe not. It could be a justification against a particular house decor that this would kind of be opposite with. So I love it. Absolutely love it. I love it here. I really tell you, the SAG, the Studio Art Quilt Guild members have really done a fantastic job in this improvisational section. I love it. As always, Lifelines. I love this one as well. I saw this one earlier. I'm loving the colors and whatnot that's been used. Let's see what else we got going on in this section. Totems. Okay, from totem poles. That's very appropriate for the fact that we're here in the Phoenix area, so the Southwest. That's perfect. I love it. The daily commute. Huh. That's an interesting parking lot. I think when I think of the daily commute, I think of the parking lot I sit in far too often. But this reminds me of an aerial shot of a building, a city area. So I wonder if that's in fact what that is. Planet Claire. I love the colors. I love that orange against that blue, the tealy blue shade. I love it. I just love the colors in that. I tell you, the art quilters have definitely come out to play in this exhibit. You're getting a little bit of everything in it. Some are spritz. Love it. I can't tell you why I love this one. I probably love it because of the scrappiness of it, but I just love how all of the fabrics and the color palettes within them just go together. Obviously, the dominant color coming out is orange, and I love the curvature that's the end and the bottom, dripping with memories. And I have a feeling there's been a lot of fussy cut in this, hence the title. So I see teddy bears, parrots, I see mermaids, I see dolphins, I see dogs, I see flowers, of course. I see all sorts of cats and all sorts of things in there, even sharks. So even adorable poodle down there. All right, let's see what else we got going on. I love this new avenue. It's just bold and striking to me. I wonder what you see, but it is bold and striking to me. And I think the thing that really helps it is if you notice the change in the quilting width. So the grid that's been used in the quilting changes for something that's very tiny here to something that's, say, double in size, still not large, of course, but something, so that just creates that shadowing effect throughout the quilt. And imagine the fact that you could do that with any width change up. That's it's I'd say, double, go from one side and then double up, or go from one side and make it in half. And I think, well, now that I'm up close, I see the fact that they've also done it in the patchwork set area too. So you see where the grid is tighter very here, and then it loosens up there. I love that play on the quilting motif that Kathy has used in the new Avenue quilt, or her new Avenue quilt. Too many small things. I love the title. I think most of us worry about too many big things in life right now. So this is certainly, um, I guess, a little bit of the fact that too many small things do tend to come together to make one big thing over time. I love this composition number 4, uh, with use of black and white and brown and gray. And I see some different techniques in the piecing that don't know how to describe it, but you see the sliver of black there coming through the white. So that fine, fine detail is quite nice, and it's been used repeatedly across the quilt. And I think I see a rock plain kind of area, the ladders. I see. I really have to figure out what maybe Lori has done in her other compositions and get an idea on the theme that she's going with there. This is one of the bigger quilts that catches your eye from the hallway. I'm sorry, the main walkway, and finally they dance. Um, I'm wondering if you see the two things that are dancing together here. I'm not even going to attempt to describe it all because I think I see it with my eyes as I look in the camera, but I do not see it. Um, I don't see it when I'm looking at it directly. Hey, Ro, thank you for joining me. I thank you and appreciate you for coming and sharing and watching along with me. And I know you've seen some of the other videos that I've done as well. Um, Let me turn this corner as well. And oh, here's the improvisational section. I thought I'd already been in it, but that was actually the art section. Because there's a couple I wanted to share here, like this in particular piece. I love it. There's a piece that's similar to this in one of the booths, one of the vendor booths, where the pieces are actually appliqued down in a beautiful pattern. But this radiates, is absolutely stunning. I love it. I love the use of the scrappy pieces. I love the thin and wide, and then I love the little pieces that are just sprinkled out in the negative space. Because that's a lot of piecing that's been done in that. So I just want you to get an idea of how that's been done. Absolutely fantastic. And then also when you get up close, you see how the gold or maybe an off-white thread has been used in the quilting to blend in completely within the background. Absolutely love it. And let's see with some of the other improvisational pieces that are down here um, that may be of interest. Improvisational question. I see the question mark there. I really do. Minimalist design question mark. Um, You know, the wonderful thing about things in the improvisational section is just what people choose to use in their improv, right? If you've seen any of the posts I've done on G's Ben, excuse me, or any of the newsletters that I've sent out with some information about quilting, you know, you get a feeling that improv is based on what people have available, right? And the beauty in it to me is that people use what they have in a creative way. So you can think of that as with scrap quilts as well, right? You take your scraps and you make a quilt out of it. You figure out a way to take what you have, place it in a beautiful way, um, or a striking way, or to communicate something that you want to share, so to speak. Because sometimes when you do a little fussy cutting, you can change the tone of your quilts. And so I say all of that to say that improv is about using what you have sometimes, right? And what you have available. And I think that is the beautiful part about quilting, that we can step out, use what we have. And I think that's a good thing because it should be less intimidating to get started. So for those who may have been seeing some of the more award-winning quilts at the various quilt shows around the nation, or whether they've been out of the country as well, when you look at some of those award-winning quilts and you think, oh my gosh, that's so fabulous and so well done. Don't forget that we all basically started making things from what we have, and you can also do the same. So I say all that, and now I'm about to show you some amazing quilt switch. Um, we're very intentional. So this is the American Patchwork Quilting and Transparency Challenge, and when you talk through the transparency quotes, the use of color is fantastic, right? So they're thinking about how the colors that are being used layer on top of each other, and then the color that they create. And I love this piece because you're starting with white in the center, black obviously is in the background, and then you just see how the rainbow effect goes as each of the layers of the colors are on top of each other. So you go from the pastel to the medium tones to the darker tones, and then eventually into black. And that is a striking layout with respect to the curved piecing that's been done. So I can definitely see why that won first place. Some of the other transparency quilts in this challenge, or in this challenge, again, this is just monochromatic. So that previous one I showed was used a full color spectrum, and then this one just monochromatic. Monochromatic used one color, just as striking and dynamic, wouldn't you say? They even used that same orangey color in the quilting. As you can see, they've used a simple grid pattern over top of the square piecing, and that's fantastic. Now look at this, neural overlap. I love this because I think I've seen this in science. And I'm an engineer, so I love the geekiness side of this quilt. I love how they've used curves. They've basically twisted them and then followed them through. I know those aren't sinusoidal waves, but I know I've seen those in frequency type illustrations. Great job. Great, absolutely great job in the curved piecing as well as um, in the curved quilting. I love that. I just love it. I can't even explain to you why. I think it's the colors. I think it's the simplicity of the droplets, so to speak. And the title of it is Surfacing. Surfacing. Okay. Some more fun quilts, good choice of colors, um, good happiness in the way, good vibes I think that you get. Um, Now this is an interesting title on this one because it's called Benched. Benched. And I wonder who's been benched. I'd have to read who's been benched, but do you see the three folks sitting? Is that what you see? Let me know what you see in this quote, because I believe I see three people sitting and they're on the bench. So I'm thinking that this has something to do with judges. That is the interpretation. I love it. Love that small one. Love that. Oh, look at the strikiness of the windmill meadows. So you see the windmills in the meadows. So I want to say the black and white space is the meadow, and then the potentially the windmills are the colored circles. But look at how, let's see this example right here. You see the pink and how the green intersects to make the brown. I love that. Hear how the yellow and the orange are intersecting, give you more of a brown color as well. So those are the things that people are thinking about when they're making these quilts. Is what are the two colors as they intersect or overlap? What is the other color that is made? And then that is the color that has to be placed. So let's see what else we have. Oh, I definitely saw this one earlier, the evolution of man. I think I have seen this as a picture in a book, and it showed a baby boy all the way, a person who, from being a baby boy all the way to an adult man, and I love that's being represented in a quilt. You see the baby there in gray, then the young boy in the green and blue, then he transitions to a teen, to a man, young adult male, older gentleman, and then finally a man with a cane. I love the transition, and just look at the steps. Look at how the colors overlap in his steps as the colors transition. Isn't that you? Oh, that's fabulous. That's the stages of life. I love the simplicity of that quilt there. Cellophane squares, and I tell you, I think I may just have a few more minutes to get to um, the mini quilts because there's one particular person who is truly dear to my heart who does some fantastic small piecing, which we all still are always loving, learning, excuse me, from our goat. So I'm going to go down the small quilt section. I think that's all I'm going to have time for. Hey there, Irma. Good to see you. I'm glad you were able to join me as I walk through QuiltCon as well. All right, small piecing. So this is what I would say about small piecing. Because some people don't want to commit to making a whole quilt. So you can commit to just a wall hanging. And I think that's a wonderful way of testing out techniques, seeing what you like, and see what works for you. I love the use of here in this particular quilt, the use of machine quilting with the hand quilting stitches. I took a couple of hand quilting stitches, make and takes here, and I took a class last night on botanicals, which I absolutely love. I think hand quilting or hand stitching or hand stitches of any type, I think many of us don't have enough time to do it, but I think there is something for all of us to enjoy. If it's not in this because of the stitching themselves, it is in fact because of the moment away. I think that's the thing I enjoy about sitting down and doing hand stitching. It's the moment away that it creates for me. I like that sneaky strips. Oh, I love the sprinkles. I love all of that detail around each of the color logs. Love it. Now this, finding balance. Remember there was another title quilt back there about balance. This is a different type of balance. Look at those log cabins. Look at those log cabin blocks and how they've been brought together. I'm getting more of a feeling of balls juggling in the air with respect to balance here. And it's interesting that the center log chosen is green. The beautiful lime green color. A lot of times it's more of a warm yellow red color. Awesome. Oh, now that is something to be able to get some wonderful curved piecing together that wonderfully. And you know what? One of the make and takes I did here at QuiltCon, we actually did do that. We did the stitches by hand though, for blocks that came out that small. So I guess I now know how they got those stitches. I mean, those curved blocks done in a relatively quick manner, and maybe did that whole piece by hand. Oh, pardon me. Look at here. Some other pieces here. Look at this. Now, Triangle Man. Now that is something. Look at that. All half square triangles. I'd say that these half square triangles are finishing at 1 inch, which means they were only 1.5 inches to start raw edge. And look at that immaculate piecing. I love it. Oh, I see points, 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 points. I can't find a missing point. And you know what? I'm not even gonna look hard enough to try to find one. And after you do all that kind of work, I'm absolutely. Oh, sorry, pardon me. Oh, let's see what else we got over here. I do love this. I love the rainbow. I love the use of the colors from the inside out, and I love the fantastic piecing that had to be used to actually get each of those going all the way around. I wonder how the curved foundation paper piecing was done. I got to do a little research. Rainbow Jig by Joe. Great job by Joe out of Oregon. Oh, I see something very interesting in another section over here. Um, but before I get to that, let me just take a look at this interesting use of muted colors in this quilt. Um, and the fact that the ring is going around the two squares. This is the one that I saw from across the room. See, sometimes big things come in small packages because look at all of that curved piecing in that piece. Now, let me see if I can make sure that you see it. Look at all of that curved piecing in there. Oh my goodness. And I'm going to take a second and take a good look because I want to say these blocks are finishing at about 1 inch as well. And they have two curves in each. Now that's some good work that Miss Fiona did. Miss Fiona out of the UK, well done. Um, yeah. Now this the small piecing exhibit was sponsored by Paper Pieces, which is a company that does a lot of um, paper, English paper piecing, foundation paper piecing type projects. So it's no wonder why they specialize, they sponsored this event because they do some wonderful products to help you get accurate work done on a small scale. Now, this is just very interesting because it reminds me of something I saw in a class I took, and actually just yesterday because of the bead work that's been done here. So last night I learned how to get those beads on as well as to perfect those knots that you see. So again, it says a skeptic's eclipse. I see the sun. There's a story behind this one, and I'm reading it for you. It says all that's to come, and everything under the sun is in the time, but the sun is eclipsed by the moon. I think I better read that again and make sure I read that right, because I might have that one word wrong right there. Tune, not time. There we go. I was missing a stitch in my eyes. And then I see okay, now I get it. I get it. These are the different phases of the moon. And then there's the sun right there. I got it. I got the theme now. Now, I will say this avocado salad was very interesting, obviously because of the color and the vibrance of the green and the complementing color of the purples in there. And I think it just looked fun. So sometimes you just want to have fun in your piecing and in the things that you make. All right, so I have completed, I do believe, all of the sections of the exhibit. Showed you some vendor booths as well yesterday. So I hope that for all who have been able to watch all of the videos that I've posted between YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, you've gotten a good idea of QuiltCon. I hope that among all of the things, you're inspired to pick up quilting and find your local quilt guild. Find out about quilting online as well. Plenty of wonderful places out there online to learn and start exploring. And get connected with some people. Certainly, we're in a technology age these days where we see and do a lot of things online. But I tell you, there's nothing like sitting down and sewing and making and creating with people that also enjoy doing the same. And like I said yesterday, look into your local quilt shows that are put on by your local quilt guild. Most cities have local quilt guilds. So whether it's the modern quilt guild, like we're here for QuiltCon, or some of the traditional quilt guilds as well, they usually put on shows. Go and see a show. Get a little intrigued. Ask some questions. I tell you, quilters love it when we find somebody who is interested in knowing a little bit more. I will tell you right now, they will encourage you to make a quilt, even when you tell them that you've never sewn before. Because I tell you, at my quilt retreats, I take people who have never sewn before. I provide the sewing machines, I provide the projects, and I get them started. And I get them started on something that they can make in a weekend because I love for people who come to my quilt retreats to have a good sense of satisfaction when they leave. So with that, it's almost time for my flight. I'm going to take one more look around and see if there's anything that I've missed, especially if there's something I must share with you all. But I don't think I've missed anything since Wednesday because we were here bright and early on Thursday when it first opened up. So anyway, comment below when you see this video, even if it's on the replay. Comment and let me know what you like about what you saw, and give me a chance to answer any questions and maybe respond to some of your curiosity. I think there's two more giveaways to be done, so that's the other reason why I need to end this video now, because who knows, I might win something today. Y'all have a blessed Sunday and an even more fabulous week. Bye bye.